Hey, it worked. All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. I just want to make sure my video and sound were working. I'm still, I'm still new at this button pushing thing on this new platform. So thank you for your patience, everybody. Welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody with an invisible condition, no matter what it is. Could be anything. We got lots of invisible conditions we've talked about on the show. No matter what that condition is, we want you to know that you do have a voice, you have a community, and you are never, ever alone. Now, here on Invisible Condition, we get it. I get it. So many of my guests totally get it. Life can be tough sometimes. Life can be darn right, just downright miserable sometimes with an invisible condition. I totally get it. Here's the thing, there is always hope. As long as you're still fogging up a mirror, there is always hope. Okay. And so if you somehow, somewhere along the way, feel like you've lost some of that hope, just reach out. Seriously, email me. This is my email with our nonprofit, Hydro with Hope, which we're going to talk about in a second. I want you to reach out to me and tell me about it. Just put hope in the subject line. I'll get in touch with you. I'll send you my calendar link, whatever. Let's have a conversation. Nobody should be without hope. It's that big a deal, right? So, all right, a couple things, and then we'll dive in with our amazing guest today, or co-host, I should say. Michal is back. She's going to be on the show with me today, which is going to be awesome. And as those of you that know that have watched the show before, it could get exciting because I don't even know what we're going to talk about. So we'll see what happens. So, so anyway, thank you for watching. Wherever you're watching from, if you're watching on any of these platforms, yes, love it. Thank you. We love you. We're so glad you're here. Comment if you hear something, and you probably will. With Michal, yeah, I feel like everybody always hears something that kind of makes their head explode a little bit. So throw a comment in there. Ask questions. Seriously, that's what we're here for. That's what she's here for. Every time she's on the air, she's like, I want to answer questions. I want to help people with what we do. So comment, 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 comment. Now, okay, what was I going to, right. Hydro with Hope is our nonprofit side of our show. That is an organization that my wife, Catherine, and I formed a few years ago to help people with hydrocephalus, which is the condition that I was born with, which has resulted in 7 brain surgeries. I'm calling it 7, though. I think that's a nice round number. I think if I have anything to say about it, I'm done. I think 7's enough. We have created a journal, a fill-in-the-blank journal for people to walk themselves through that experience of, holy smokes, we got to do what now? We have to have what kind of surgery? And that's going to be how long in the hospital? And it's a whole process. And so this journal is designed to help you and your family walk through that process and not lose your mind. So, and the other thing I want to talk to you about is NRG, which is our studio sponsor, which you saw that cool thing live from NRG Studios. NRG is bar none, hands down, without a doubt, the purest form of networking I've ever seen. You show up to the meetings, and by the way, there's 30 Zoom calls a week you have access to. That's 30 Zoom calls. It's a lot. It's a lot of networking. You don't have to go to all of them, but you get to pick and choose. That's the beauty of it. It is a never-ending source of referrals. That's what I have found in the 2 years I've been with them. In fact, I'm a lifetime member with them now because I've had so much benefit from this group. I've never had a week that I haven't had referrals. I mean, it's amazing. And so it's honestly ruined me for all of the networking. So that's why I keep going. I don't go to other groups most of the time because I get what I need here. So if you're a business owner and you want referrals, this is it right here. Scan the QR code, and that'll get you in touch with Mike, who's the guy that runs those 30 Zoom calls a week. I'm pretty sure he doesn't sleep. But he does an amazing job running these calls, and referrals are the name of the game. So jump on there, and I'll look forward to seeing you there. Just tell Mike that I sent you, and we'll get you to a call, and you can experience it for yourself. So, all right, let's dive in here. I'm gonna just just for kicks, in case you guys haven't seen this in a while, I'm gonna show you Michelle's little overview of what she does real quick, and then we're gonna bring her on. So here we go. Oh, there it is. Okay. See, I'm telling you, the hamsters in the hamster wheel and the button pushing department are a little loopy this morning. I guess we didn't get the right buttons pushed. Okay,
It
now
surprised me because it said I was unmuted, and then all of a sudden I wasn't. So I think it's just the technology.
I don't know, whatever. You know what? The crazy stuff only happens on the days ending in Y, so that's the good news, right? Uh, well, welcome, Michelle. Amazing to see you again. And well, I know when we were talking, before we came on the air, you said, I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we'll just roll with it and see what happens. So, which I feel like is kind of how we do it around here. So,
That's how we
so
roll.
what you got for me?
Well, thank you. I always appreciate being here, and we have such a great time. I think I'm going to do a quick introduction in case anybody's new, and then we'll see what we're talking about today. How does
Perfect.
that sound?
Perfect.
Okay. Well, as you guys saw, the short commercial for one branch of what we do is chronic illness solution, and how I developed that company many years ago, probably about 16 now, is I was battling my own mystery chronic illnesses. Regular doctors didn't know what was wrong. Specialists, natural, holistic, integrative, functional, kind of started finding some of the answers. Like we figured out I had an autoimmune disease, a genetic disorder, as well as like serious environmental, like toxicity and sensitivities and allergies and things like that, amongst a host of other things. And so I was told that all of these things would be permanent, lifelong, and that the best that I could do was learn to manage it with diet, lifestyle, supplements, different natural remedies, certain medications. And so I learned as much as I could. I implemented as much as I could. I was on the special diets. I took my supplements. I did everything right. I didn't cheat for the majority of the time. I was a good student, a good patient, a good client. I went into the realm of like emotional healing and trauma work and personal development, just anything, allergy elimination techniques. I mean, anything I could put my hands on or learn, detox protocols, frequency therapies, Rife machines, grounding mats. I mean, it's like endless. I once wrote a
Yeah.
list. It was over 100 things long. So I quit writing things down of all the stuff I had tried and done. So
Wow.
at one point, it's just this nagging knowing started popping up about, I don't think this is what healthy looks like. Like the whole health fad, healthcare system, it's like, oh, I have my green smoothies and I'm gluten free and I'm doing my supplements and I'm trying these protocols. Oh my gosh, you too? Yeah, let's be friends. Like it's a whole world, really. It's like,
Yes.
if you're a nerd and you're into Star Wars, other Star Wars people are your people, right? So you find your people, you build your entire life around a lifestyle that's supposedly healthy. But at the end of the day, it's like, wait a second, why can't I eat gluten? Why can't other people eat gluten? Why do I have to
Right.
take supplements? Why don't other people have to take supplements? Like, am I actually healthy, or am I actually keeping myself stuck and keeping myself sick? So, because of my pride, I avoided that knowing for a couple of years, as I'm sure we all do. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, I
Mhm.
try the thing, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with what I know. And I'm going to try stuff that I know I can do this on my own. Anyway, so years later, I'm still struggling and I'm watching other people be healthy and I'm not. and I'm still flaring up, and I'm still forking out tons of dollars on maintenance and management protocols.
Yeah.
So I just was done. I finally admitted to myself that if I knew how to be fully healthy, I would have done it by now, certainly.
Right.
So obviously, what I was doing and what I knew wasn't working. So I had to start from square one. Whatever I needed was in the realm of what I didn't even know was existed. Like, I don't know what I don't know. So I started researching, started praying, started seeking. What am I missing? What don't I know? And I was led to a lot of different things, but for simplicity's sake, I'll say nervous system regulation was my way in. And so I already knew that everybody I knew was pretty much in survival mode. The world was surviving. The world is steeped in fear. The world is, reactive. The
Yeah.
world isn't being taught emotional intelligence. The world isn't being taught how to actually like live scripture the way that we know the concepts. That's good. Take every thought captive. Yeah, it's a good idea. How do we actually do it? Because as
Right.
far as I know, every believer I knew had the same problems and thoughts were running rampant, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think we're experiencing the promises in the Bible. I don't think we're experiencing the promises of the healthcare industry. And so through learning how to regulate my nervous system and live in a different state entirely, state of mind, state of body, state of nervous system, state of being, state of thinking, state of feeling, state of interacting with life, state of being in relationship to myself in a new way.
Yeah.
I had to deconstruct everything and rebuild it with him. And so, as I regulated my nervous system very quickly, my body began to heal itself. And so I began to integrate what I learned into my daily moment by moment awareness and practice and way of life and habit system. And so as I began to develop those new healthy patterns of living, I never went back to the way that it was. Like I didn't flare up to the point where I was sick again. I knew how to resolve my flare ups, and learned how to resolve my flare ups when they showed up. And the outcome was like within 3 to 4 months, I introduced all my foods again, including foods I had autoimmune reactions to. Like I can eat gluten and dairy and sugar and GMOs and all kinds of things and not get sick, which was unheard of for me. Like one crumb of
Yeah.
gluten would have made me sick for a whole month and like flared me up like super bad. Like my nerves, I'd have pain, I'd have my brain fog, my digestive issues, my skin, like it affected a lot of things. So I could eat all
Wow.
the foods that I had permanent allergies to. My lab test showed normal, which is like kind of insane. Cause like autoimmune diseases don't just disappear, right?
No.
Supposedly they actually do,
Supposedly.
but we are not taught that they do. A genetic disorder, well, that's genetic, right? So that can't go away. Well, it did. My markers have disappeared and never shown up in my labs again. I was able to get off supplements, able to get off meds. I stopped forking out hundreds of dollars to all the other healthy things I was doing. And I stopped needing to drink special water and breathe special air and like do all the special and have like non-scented products. So like I really lived a micromanaged life of symptom management, and that just went away very quickly because my body
Nice.
finally got the relief of being living in like a paradigm where I didn't have to survive everything through fear. So that's essentially where I began teaching. This work was very focused on chronic illness. I've been doing that a very long time. I have a background in functional medicine, holistic nutrition, trauma healing work, lots of things, personal development, you name it, lots of things, dozens of certifications and things like that. And that didn't get me anywhere other than symptom management.
Mm.
So, what me and my team have really been working on and working with people and developing over these years is really what is the fastest way that we set people free. And so, as we've come under a nonprofit, the Enduring Hope Foundation, which is cool because you talk all about hope all the time, Jeff.
Yes.
We've branched out into other topics because we're finding that the same skills for living affect everything. So whether it's addiction recovery, it's still working. Eating disorders, still working. Marriage, relationship, communication, parenting challenges. This is the same work that's working. Trauma healing work. this is the same work that's healing trauma, and allowing people to have a different experience after trauma of wholeness and love and peace, and being able to disarm triggers and the triggers going away. And it's very cool. It's like we're not needing coping skills now, because the fundamental state of operating is actually changing as we lay
Yes.
that foundation of love. So we've gone into a lot of different areas, and from the spiritual or biblical side, deliverance ministry, and helping people foster their spiritual gifts of discernment, of just of listening to the Holy Spirit, of being able to do energy healing and laying on of hands, and things like that. So it's very cool. The application of what we do is so vast, but the concepts of what we teach are so simple. And I feel like the Bible is so vast and talks about a lot of things, but the fundamental concepts are so simple. When people started overcomplicating the Bible and scriptures, Jesus came and said that the entire law, and famous rabbis had said this before him as well, the entire law stands on two commandments: love God, love your neighbor. So it's like the golden rule. And so we're finding more and more, the longer we do this work and teach this work and see that it's working with people that you wouldn't necessarily believe it could work for,
Yeah.
like people that are blind that now can see, that have MS, that the MRI scans are clean, that have holes in the cartilage in their knees, that the holes just go away. Like all this we're told is impossible, right? Lupus that's gone, and Lyme's disease that's gone, and fibromyalgia that's gone, and things of this nature. So anyway, the more we're seeing this work, the simpler it gets. Is it easy? No. It's the hardest work I've ever done, ever. And I've done a lot of work in personal development for a lot of years that was not easy either. And this makes that all feel like a piece of cake. But it is simple. And it really is the fundamental essence of, what am I choosing to operate in? What reality or experience am I choosing to accept? So that is what we're going to talk about today, is the fact that we can choose the reality we're in. And I know that sounds woo-woo, and some people have already kind of said those same words. And I've studied a lot of that, and it never worked for me. It was kind of a hamster wheel in and of itself. But hopefully today, talking about choosing the paradigm we live in as the way to really experience love over fear, that's the fundamental crux of the situation, is what are we experiencing? If we are still experiencing fear, if we're still experiencing shame, if we're still experiencing survival mode, then obviously we're not in the right paradigm that we want to be in, right? So it's like, how do we not just understand the concepts of this through positive thinking and willpower and effort, but how do we actually shift our real life experience so we're actually experiencing what we conceptually know we can? So that really is the crux of it, and it's as simple as letting love in, loving God, loving love, loving truth, loving the highest good of all, loving the Most High, and loving good over evil, and loving light over dark, right? However we want to word it.
Yeah.
Loving being conscious and aware and intentional, and loving living our values over being reactive. These things, when we choose love, we are able to heal in ways that are miraculous. And the thing is, most of us don't know what love is, really. And most of us, because we've experienced love through our wounding, but most of us also don't know how to actually choose love. So all the words that I've said are kind of pointless in a way, useless in a way, if we don't actually know how to apply it. So we want to dive in today. We haven't quite yet, in our series of videos, although a lot of the concepts have built upon and led towards what I'm talking about right now. But I think we want to go into, how do we actually experience love? how do we actually choose love, and what does that mean? And what if we're not experiencing that? What do we do then? Like, what's the next right thing to do? Like, because it can feel so stuck. Like, I'm trying everything and it's not working, and now I'm hopeless.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to dive into. Not sure if you have thoughts or questions before we go
Well,
further.
I think the first thing would be to just define what kind of love we're talking about, because there's lots of definitions for that out there, right? So love can be, you can, 100 people could be asked the same question, what is love? And they'll give you 100 different answers.
Yes.
So because of their background, because of their, damage that they've had done to them in their lifetime, to their value system, their upbringing. So let's start there. What is love? What are we talking about here?
Yep, that's so cool. I did hear earlier, though I didn't know it was the topic for the show. What is love? I was like, that would be a good topic for some time. So here we are.
Here we
That
are.
was literally earlier today.
How
So
about today?
that's
Yeah.
cool. And it's been showing up as a theme amongst like our clients and our team to actually discuss that this week. It's kind of interesting when I observe different people start all talking about the same things that God's working with them on, like without them talking to each other. It's like, okay, I can see what's happening here. There's like a scripture that says something like, you won't be able to see the Spirit, like the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth and love, but you will be able to see the evidence of that Spirit moving and working.
Yeah.
And I can see that when I'm watching so many people do this work and all the same themes are popping up. So it's really cool. That helps me know we're not alone. We're not experiencing this in isolation. Like,
Right.
we're all together. We're all experiencing it. God's working with all of us on these same fundamental truths. And that's beautiful. So, on one call this week, we had one of our newer students discuss love, and it was interesting because what struck him about it was like, you can't hang on to love. It's not like something you can, like, boom, got it. I got it, and now it's just gonna last, and I like have it in my hands. He's like, you can't, it's not something you can gather and keep. It's
Huh.
it's an active, it's alive. It's a living, breathing relationship. It is choice. Like, every choice I make is a choice in love or something else. And so it's
Okay.
interesting when we look at love, people who have done marriage courses, a lot of them might be more familiar with this concept, right? It's like, it's not a feeling, it's a verb. It's not, it's an action. It's not a noun, it's an action. So I can
Yeah.
tell my spouse all day long or my child all day long, I love you. And I can feel fuzzy, warm feelings, right? But that's not necessarily love. It could be evidence of love. It could be a byproduct of love. It could be an experience that you can experience in love. But love is not, love isn't that. Feelings are fleeting, right? Love is, how do I show up? How do I choose to love my spouse? How do I choose to show love to my child? If my actions and my choices and my behaviors aren't demonstrating love, doesn't matter what words or feelings are, that's not love. So in
Okay.
the same way, we can apply that to all of our life. How do I choose love? How do I receive love? It's actually less conceptual. It's less feeling based, although there is a feeling to it. And it's found, and it lives in our choices. So I
Okay.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
Sorry. No, I'm just thinking, like, what you and I and Stephen have been talking about over the last couple of months. I mean, this has been like my main hang up with all of this, with this whole love thing, which is great. Love is awesome.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Love. Thing is, I've got this, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure
you're
you have
not.
it. I'm sure plenty of you are dealing with this too. So buckle up.
Yep.
Um, is that I didn't. It's not supposed. It can't be that easy. It can't be that simple. There's like okay, you're experiencing this problem, this emotional hang up, this turmoil that's going on, that's affecting your life, that's holding you back, or that's preventing you from going to the next step in your business, or whatever it is.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, well, just, ask Jesus to take that fear or that guilt or whatever the emotion is that's there, that's not love. Just have him take it away, and just put love in its place. Just, it's like, no problem.
I loved I Dream of Jeannie. That's so funny you did that. That was one of my
It's
favorite
like,
shows as a kid. It's like,
it's
yeah,
that simple. You just rub the lamp and she
right.
pops out and replaces it with love. No
Boom.
problem.
Yeah,
Whatever. I was like, that is, it cannot be that simple, because I had built up in my mind that there had to be, like, how does that happen? And
right.
and why does it happen? And what's the process? And my biggest hang up was how.
Right.
How do we do this? And it doesn't matter how, because there's always a way. But
Right.
that was my hang up. That was
This is great.
I'm
Yeah. This is so
for
good.
those of you that are with me on that, that's like, yeah, well, if you can't figure out how to do it, then how do you do it?
Right. And also, I've
Um,
tried that and it didn't work for me. I know. I'm just writing down your two things because they're so good. One is the simplicity. Two is the how, and I think the overarching theme um, is what is it to choose love. So this is great. I don't
well,
think
'cause
we.
part of
I
that
don't
is
think we
pride,
boiled.
right?
Yeah, we haven't really talked this deep about those things yet.
There you go.
Here.
Well, and part of what I feel like is giving me those things is my own pride, right? It's like, well, I have to figure it out, right? I have to figure it out, God. You can't, you just, nope, you just sit down and relax for a minute. I got this. I
Right.
got to figure it out, which
Thank
is,
you. Yes.
right, which is the opposite of what you actually want to happen.
Right.
So,
Which is not love. It helps me to view, well, it is a relationship that's actually real. Communication that should be going both ways, that can be going both ways. But it helps me in my human brain and my psyche because these concepts were all new for me. I didn't know how to live these things. So all the words that we're
right.
saying meant something totally different to me until I understood them in this way, right?
Yeah.
So it helps me to like take it out of my head and think about it as a relationship between two people, two humans of like, okay, what would this look like here? So um a couple in love, right? They first express their commitment to one
Hmm.
another to become exclusive, right?
Hmm.
And to give up all others, right?
Hmm.
If you're in a monogamous relationship, and to begin to develop a relationship built on a foundation of love,
Yeah.
right? So that expression comes first, usually.
So where does it, so I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in here for a second.
That's fine.
So, because, uh, so for instance, my wife, so Catherine and I, right? So we met when we were like 12 in seventh grade band class, right? So,
Yeah.
so, and we got married at 22, right? So 10 years between, who are you again? Oh, hi, nice to meet you, and start hanging out and whatever. And then 10 years later, so that wasn't like love right off the bat. That was like, hey, let's be friend. Like the friendship was there, and the foundation of, hey, we're hanging out and we love each other, but it's because we're such good friends
Right.
that we don't want to hurt each other, and we want to protect each other from other people hurting us, and all that. Like, so it was a friendship thing. So
Yeah.
so is that part of it too? I mean, is that
That's
like,
a
'cause you
good
can't
one.
just jump right to love
I
sometimes, right? Like,
yeah, I love you're like super in tune today with what needs talked about. I'm loving your questions. I mean, there are four different words for love in the Greek
mhm,
that the Bible talks about. And so there's family love, you know what I mean? Like unconditional love of all, just like I love
like I've
you,
got two. I know two of them. I don't know if I all know. So there's agape, which is unconditional,
Right.
And then there's phileo, which
Yep.
is, I don't remember which one that is. And then, but then there's two more that I don't remember.
Yep,
So
I'll
there's,
look it up so we can tell our viewers in case they want to go on. Four
in case
different
anybody wants to know the actual,
kinds of love in Greek. Okay, we'll talk
Greek.
about that in
Yeah.
a second. So yeah, so there's family, there's romantic, there's unconditional, and there's
And
something
then
else.
friendship maybe, or
Probably.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
We'll roll with that. Yeah.
there's many expressions of love. Why I think you brought up the question you did is because we're really talking about the relationship with God, which I know people have trauma about God, people have trauma about Jesus. I'm not talking about, I have to be careful about how I say this because different audiences will hear me differently. So let me be careful.
Yeah.
Um, we work with so many people with religious trauma.
Sure.
And what we have found 100% of the time is that what they were experiencing about Jesus is not the Jesus we're talking about. That's like the religious, Roman, distorted, human being human kind of like, oh yeah, we're Christians. Well, but you're not really living what it's actually about, that this isn't love.
Yeah.
Right? So, and a lot of people, we used to not talk religious or spiritual language at all. And we're supposed to now, which is great. We can trigger a bunch of this and heal a bunch of it.
Bring it
Um,
on.
we have people of all backgrounds do our work, and
Yeah.
they're experiencing what we're talking about as love and safe and non-religious, like non what they've encountered before. So one of my favorite sayings that freaks the team out is I'm like, I'm not talking about that Jesus. They're like, what? There's two Jesuses. I'm like, well, there kind of
No,
is the
no, no.
Jesus of the world, the Jesus of fear, the Jesus of shame, the Jesus, that's not really Jesus. That wasn't his message. That wasn't who he is. That's not who he is. So when I say spiritual words like this, I hope a broad audience can be open to feel what I'm actually talking about. That's why a lot of times, we talk about what we know God is, love, right? And
That's why I talk about when people say I'm a Christian or I'm a, like that could mean a lot of things. That's a very
yeah,
broad
yeah,
nowadays, that's a very broad term. So
yes,
when I'm talking to somebody, and that comes up, that's why I use the term Jesus follower, because
right,
that is very specific,
yes,
and so Christian might be a good overarching term to use,
in some
for
circles.
in some circles, but like kind of like what you're talking about, it's like,
Totally. Yeah, and
so
early
yeah.
believers didn't call themselves that, and sometimes I say, well, are you a Christian or a churchian? It's like, so anyway, the language is rough, language is tough. So
Anyway, yeah.
since we're talking about somebody's relationship to love over fear, light over dark, being regulated or in survival mode, however you want to view it, that is a good point. How intimate are we with the embodied experience of love? How are we friends? Are we in the just getting to know you stage? Are we just friends? Are we acquaintances? Are we am I to the point where I'm ready to devote my entire life to only living in the highest good of all at every moment and choosing love over everything else, including fear? I might not be there, but it doesn't matter as long as we're developing that relationship. He's all for it. So that's great. So I think that's why you asked that, is it's a good self-reflective tool. What am I talking about, and how close and intimate
Right.
am I? Where has my relationship progressed up till now, and what
Well, and
would
that
be the
can
next
that
level?
can vary too, right? That can vary too. Like just because I mean, Catherine and I've been married, next week will be, 27 years we've been married. We've known each other forever. We've been married 27 years. But that doesn't mean that every day is like stellar, amazing, walking on clouds, there are hard days,
Yes,
and same thing with your relationship with Jesus. It's like not every day is sunshine and rainbows all the time.
right,
It's some days are tough, and so
totally.
So
Well, and
that's
it's like, have you heard, in marriage wisdom literature, it's like date your spouse every day. It's like you
yeah,
either are growing together or you're growing apart. We're either growing or we're dying. We're growing or decaying. And so that's
exactly.
also really important in this is my past choice for love yesterday means nothing for my choice right now in this moment. And I think that's what a lot of people get hung up on is like, I want it to be one and done. I'd rather be there already. Well, it's because it's essentially what we're saying if we take it out of our heads is I just want things to be good in this marriage so I don't have to put in the work.
Well,
That's
that's like
not
saying,
love.
well, that's like saying, I told you I loved you when we got married. You need to hear it again.
Right.
Come on,
Yeah. I know. I already gave you a massage like last year. Why you want another one again?
right?
It's like, of course not. That's preposterous. So if this helps us take it out of our heads and really mock it out so we can observe it, because that's the number one thing we're learning to teach people is can we help them observe what's really happening with awareness rather than just be caught up in the experience, kind of blind. And so if we can put it out and say, well, this is what I'm saying. Okay, what if I said that in a marriage to my spouse? Oh, that's really bad, right? So
yeah,
think of it this way. Well, choose love with your spouse. Well, it can't be that simple. Well, it is and it's not. It
right.
depends on how you look at it. So let's talk about the simplicity first, and that'll go into our next area as well. The simplicity of it is the simplicity of what it is that we're doing.
Mhm.
Guess what? I don't have to figure her out and solve the mystery of my spouse. I don't have to fix them. I don't have to fix myself. I don't have to prove that I'm worth it. I don't have to wait until, our finances are right and this and that and or like conditions are right. I don't have to wait until I feel better to love my spouse. I don't have to wait on all these complicated things to love my spouse. In each moment, I can find how do I love my spouse in this moment, right?
Yep.
Okay,
And
and
we
from that context, there will be ideas.
sorry, we have a I have a we have a saying that we have adopted over the last 30 plus years of knowing each other and 20 whatever years of marriage and it's just anytime because we are truly opposite, like opposite corners of the personality, whatever, like we couldn't be more opposite. And we're finding out new things like literally every week that we're like, "Oh, you do that totally opposite." Okay. You know, and so we kind of, so our thing is like you don't get upset with it. It's kind of fascinating when you find something so opposite. And so I think I just came up with this one day and we keep using it. It's like, well, I don't get it, but it's consistent. And so we it's like just because I don't do it that way, like that kind of, it's like, okay, because you don't have to understand everything, right? Just like with Jesus, you don't have to understand everything
Yep.
to be in relationship.
Yep.
You
He
know,
just says, follow me. And we're like,
right.
where are we going? I love the chosen because it's like, well, where are we going? Well, can we have an itinerary or plan? And he's like, no, we ain't doing that, right? Like,
No, we're not
just
doing that.
follow me. And can
Yeah.
you follow me and not know where we're going? Can you follow me and not know why I'm asking you to fill up the water jars for the miracle I'm about to perform?
Yeah.
Can you just follow and do, right? And in the Old Testament, that's beautiful because God, the same God, was already teaching this concept in the Shema, which means hear. But the word Shema is actually also like a verb. It's like hear and do. I'm
Mhm.
hearing to do, not I'm hearing to just sit back and like, oh, I heard ya. It's like I'm hearing and I'm implementing. I'm hearing and I'm obeying. So
Love it.
so that's important as well. So as far as the simplicity of it is simple. It's like being a good parent. There are so many facets to parenting. But when you come from what would love do, what would Jesus do, how can I express the Father's love here? That's a lens that gives us access to listening and doing love. And it actually is very simple. Like I don't have all the solutions, but I know when I approach something from love because that's the choice I'm making, that it changes what I can perceive how I can respond, what I can perceive, how I can respond, what I can do. And
Hmm.
so it's like that impulse control. If I can learn to be the observer, like pause, time out, take a breath, right? That's like conscious parenting. Gentle parenting is like, okay, regulate here. What would love do? you know, how do I want to respond? It's like pausing, not reacting, responding. Okay, that
Right.
pause, get my bearings. Okay, love. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. And we don't have to be perfect at it. All we have to do is our best. Jesus doesn't require perfection. In fact, he says salvation isn't from works. It's by faith, faithfulness in the Hebrew. Um, that we are saved through grace, which is loving kindness. So, and love covers a multitude of sins. So it's perfection is not required of us,
Mm-mm.
and that's not even the point. It really is that when we are in love, we produce the works and fruits of love. You shall know them by their fruits. So works comes as a product of faith, as a working out of salvation, not as a way to it. Um, and so the same is true here. It's not
Yeah.
like I have to do everything right in order to arrive at love. It's actually love is the gateway to the realm of seeing through eyes of love and listening through ears of love and making choices that are rooted in love over something else. So the simplicity of the concept is there, but as you would agree in a marriage, that doesn't mean you're like, "Hey, well, I'm just going to tell my wife I love her every day." Check mark.
Well, no, no, no. Because I love Catherine, I do lots of things for her and for us and for the family and
Yes.
for the,
Yes.
but I
I'm
don't
learning.
do, but I don't do them in order to, it's not like an exchange of value all the time. Like, well, I did this, so now you have to love me. No, 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 no.
Yes.
Because I love you, I do all these things for, just unconditionally all the time.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a
Which means the
different, it sounds
motivation.
like semantics, but it's not. So yeah.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, like it's so hard to describe this work because there's no way I can conceptually teach it. I actually have to walk people through practical examples and living lessons, like experiential learning.
Hmm.
Um, but what you're pointing to is pointing to the mechanism I'm saying, which is like exactly because of love, I am open to learning love, learning
Hmm.
how to love, learning how to be in
Yeah.
love in the moment, which means I'm expanding, I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm making mistakes, I'm catching like, oh, that came from my pride, not love. I can see that now because of love, and now I can see that I'm going to be
Yeah.
refined. I mean, marriage is one of the best refinement tools. Being a parent is one of the best refinement tools because you're looking at a mirror to your soul, right? Like it just brings out whatever's inside.
And
And
that mirror is not afraid to tell you stuff either, man.
yeah, exactly.
Man, even at
Exactly.
17, man, our Kasha, our youngest, man, she just came out with like the other day. I was like, whoa, whoa, that was a little, come on, man. Just
That's
that was
funny.
a little harsh. But
Yeah.
but she didn't mean anything by it. It just, it was just like, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, I know, right? So what if we realize God's given us so many soul mirrors, SOUL, soul mirrors, where we get to reveal and see the contents of our heart. Search my heart, O Lord.
Mm,
One of the most powerful prayers every day, all the time, every moment. Search my heart, O Lord, because I want you in my heart. So anything that's in my heart that's not of you, I want that exposed so that you can put in me a new heart and remove the heart of stone, the heart of flesh, which is of
yeah,
deception, which is a heart blocker. It's like it blocks us being able to feel and receive and think and know his love and his truth. So slowly he's like surgically removing the heart of stone. It is a real surgery, right? And putting in the heart of love and of the spirit.
yep,
And so that's the circumcision of the heart. So yes, the concepts are simple, and yes, it seems like semantics, but it's not. It's a real phenomenon. So
yeah,
we're also learning how to love ourselves, others, Love your neighbor as yourself. Well, how do you do that if you don't know love, right? We're learning how to love him. We're learning how to be in love. And there's plenty of scriptures that talk about people that don't love the truth. People that did not choose love and truth are the ones that perish. Like his salvation is through love. So yes, the concept is simple. The application is nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which is
where
really
does
annoying sometimes, but
I
yes,
know,
it's yeah,
I know, I
yeah,
get it. Yeah, I know,
I'm
I
not
get
gonna
it.
lie.
It's like, yeah, the only thing we have to do is climb the mountain of love. That's it, just one foot in front of the other. And then it's like, yeah, but what shoes do I wear? And how do I rock climb this part? And how do I not sink in the quicksand? Right? It's like nuanced how you
Right,
get up the mountain. When do you drink electrolytes? Blah, blah, blah. How do you not get eaten by mosquitoes? I don't know. Um, where's what tent do you need in the hailstorm? There's like different conditions to navigate. But the concept is simple. We're just walking up the mountain of love. That's it.
yeah,
So the how. Here's when you know the how is in him and when the how is in fear.
okay,
Okay. So everything we experience, there's a version that's true based in love. So there's a Holy Spirit version, Jesus, love, highest good of all, highest consciousness version. And there's like deception, fear, survival, darkness, whatever you're calling it, version. So it's not, well, I'm listening 1 second. Okay. It is and it isn't black and white. What do I mean by this? It is black and white because I'm either in love or deception, fear,
right,
right? It isn't black and white in the sense that it's not don't ever ask how. It's is your how in the white or the dark, the white or the black.
why are you asking how? Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So, exactly. So, when how is in him, in love, I am asking how from curiosity, which you said about your marriage, right? I am curious of like, oh, wow, that's fascinating. Okay, we're very different, but blah, blah, blah. So here's how I love you in this part of our marriage and relationship.
right,
Okay. So that's like the how is a choice of love where I began getting curious about how I can apply love in this area. I'm actually asking how. Like, I'm actually asking how to engage in it. I'm
mm-hmm.
Shema, right? Listening to do love. The how in deception or fear is I just don't see how. It's actually a defense mechanism that
Mm-hmm.
stops us from being curious and seeing the answer. So if our how is feels like a block, I don't understand how, but how, but how, but how, we have to become aware, am I actually asking to listen for the answer? Like every question that's defensive or fear-based is actually a great question to ask. That's how we take the enemy's bricks from the wall of the block and we start giving them to Jesus is okay. Good question, deception. Yeah, I'm going to ask Jesus how. And then I'm going to listen to his answer and I'm going to
Yep.
get curious. So we can use everything that comes up for us as a way to take a building block from fear and our blocks and our stuck points and our illnesses and actually build the foundation in Jesus, which is cool. That's a really cool superpower once that starts happening, because then you're not afraid anymore of the stuck things. You're like, oh,
Right,
here's another block. Great. I'm gonna move that over to the light side, right? It's like from the
yeah.
dark side to the light side. Um,
Which in some areas I feel like I have very few, but I feel like there are a few things that is finally clicking now.
Good.
Not
Yes.
a lot, but some. So now it's just like, okay, now how do I apply it to the rest? But
Yes.
it,
Which is the whole point, and I know we're wrapping up, of choice. So it's simple, but how we do it is through choice in the moment, not concepts.
Right.
So you and I have been talking about grounding this week. Well, you and God. I've been observing you and God have a conversation about grounding, right? Slowing
Yeah.
down.
It's
Okay.
been it's been something. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting a lot out of it. So it's like my choice in each moment is the how I choose love. So when I wake up, am I pausing to slow down and listen to Jesus's message to me? When I'm brushing my teeth, am I going so fast and thinking about a million things? Or am I allowing him to take my hand and being in him while I'm brushing my teeth and seeing, can I hear his message right now? Right? Am I, when I'm eating, same thing. How am I doing it? Am I doing this in love? What would love be like? How could I treat myself like my best friend? How would I treat myself? Not like if I was Jesus, but it's like, how would I treat Jesus if he was in my home? That's how I should be treating myself. That's how I should be treating others. So, learning to do this in the practical applications, that's where it lives because our choices are actually what create our experience. It's not the other way around. So, that's the how I experience love is through the choices I'm making. That's it.
There you go. See, simple, not always super easy.
Right.
So that's where the education comes, and that's where the patience to give yourself grace to learn this. That's been one of the hardest things, man, because it's so easy for me to say, "What's the matter with you? Haven't you caught on to this yet? We're dealing with this again."
Right.
Again? I
Yep.
thought we did this already. I
Yep.
thought we already tackled this last week, last month, last year.
Yep.
Why? But every, like you talked about nuance. I mean, every day is a little different. Every situation is a little different. It applies, you find this stuff out in so many different. I mean, if we had time, I'd talk about a specific example with a dog that was off its leash a couple weeks ago that completely just threw me into a spiral. I mean, it was just crazy, but it was the same thing that I had dealt with before, but it was in a different situation. So it was a
Right.
whole,
Yes. And for men, waffle squares. So it's almost like you have to learn everything in each waffle square.
right?
Women have spaghetti brains, so it's easier for us to apply things in a lot of areas at once. That's just a difference
I
between men.
think
So be
that's it.
encouraged.
That's
Yes.
it.
And
Yeah.
also, your relationship to yourself is the same. So it's like if you're in a marriage to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Then it's like, I already loved you a month ago. It's like, no, you wouldn't do that to your spouse. Learn to bring love there in the language we speak. And that's how to choose love there. So
Right.
that's a great example because everyone I've ever worked with has the inner dialogue that is given by deception that is so harsh and unloving to
Oh yeah.
us. Yeah.
Same thing. Would you say that to your, like, would I say that to Catherine? No, not in a billion years.
Yeah.
Never.
And would Jesus say that to you? No. So
Exactly.
get behind me, Satan. I ain't listening to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, okay. I wish we had another hour. We're on a
I know.
roll.
See you
So,
next episode for more.
right, we'll do that in the next episode, which uh amazingly, this is the last episode with Michelle for season 7. Next time you see Michelle and I on the show, we will be in season 8, believe it or not, everybody. So and in that, so we will tackle, you know, a whole bunch more stuff, man. There's so much, and I know that I feel like, haven't we run out of things to talk about? We've been doing this almost 2 years, and it's like, no, we haven't. We're not going to. It's just because human beings are human beings. So this episode, the next episode that we will have, actually pretty awesome. We have a show that's airing on our anniversary. So Catherine and I will be married 27 years on the next. So the next episode will be on June 19th. And June 19th is our anniversary. And we were married on June 19th, 1999. So 27 years later, here we are. It's pretty awesome. So that'll be the next show. Um, 19th, and the guest for that day is so cool. I can't wait for you to meet her. She's fantastic. So please join us on the 19th, and wherever you happen to be watching, thank you for being here. We love you all. It's so nice to see you, and we're so glad that you're here, because without you, we wouldn't be here. Um, so thank you for being here, and thank you, Michelle, for being here, and we will see you all next time.